I think we've got enough plot armor we can survive walking into the trailer.
You came. Well then, what was it that you were talking about?
Why is she so eager to talk all of a sudden? Miss Vasquez, you were using that accident. You were blackmailing Mr. Hammer so you could control him, weren't you? That's why he was doing kid shows for petty change.
So I'm a blackmailer now? Well, that's what it was, wasn't it? I mean, sure, it was an accident, but you used it to drag Mr. Hammer down from his rightful place as a star. Oh, I haven't pulled anyone down from anywhere. Mr. Hammer's career went sour of its own accord. But, you were the cause. You pressured him. And to think, it was just an accident. Excuse me? What is this all about? You keep saying accident, accident. How are you so sure?
What do you mean?
Must I spell everything out for you? Have you looked at the bloody photograph yourself for more than 2 seconds? Think, what would it be if it wasn't an accident?
No. No way. You mean Mr. Hammer did it on purpose?
That is what I mean.
Where's your proof? Can you prove it?
I already told you. Look at the freaking photograph. Just think. Would he have let me run his life for 5 years over a mere accident? And I ran him hard, believe you me. But the security lady said it was an accident, and it's not like she has any reason to think Hammer was completely innocent under all circumstances, no matter what. Oh, well, she was a big fan of Hammer's, you see. She jumped on the reporter who brought that photo into the studio. She wrenched it out of his hands, she did. Gave him a few bruises as well.
So that's why she had the photo.
She is an old fool. Of course, all the reporter would need is the negatives. He could have made a copy. But he didn't. The only copy of that photo is the one you hold. Give it to me. Now. What? This is valuable evidence.
Okay. Hey there, sad customer.
Boys?
Who are they?
Professionals. They're good at erasing various things. What do you think? Would you like to be erased?
What?
The trial ends tomorrow. How unfortunate. It's a shame you'll have to miss it.
Tell me why. Why do you want this photograph so badly? This is Mr. Hammer's dirt, no? Why should Diva Squeeze care about it at all?
I'm sure you'll have plenty of time to think about that, where you're going. So long, friends. Boys, erase away. No!
I can't. There's no way I can do that reasonably. Hold it right there. I heard everything, pal. Diva Squeeze, you're coming down to the precinct with me, now.
Not bad. Very well. It appears this contest will be decided tomorrow, then. In court. I'll be looking forward to it.
Gumshoe pulling his weight, man. Hey, you okay, pal? Sorry I was a little late with my entrance. I don't get many chances to practice that sort of thing.
Detective Gumshoe. Thank you. I was really scared.
Huh? Don't mention it, pal. Just doing my job. It's impressive. Everybody became way more competent in the third chapter. The judge became way more competent. Phoenix became moderately more competent. Gumshoe became way more competent.
Detective Gumshoe?
Sorry, it's just I've wanted to say that line ever since I became a detective. Okay, I've got one more job to do today. I'm sure we'll run into each other again soon.
Well, Nick, it looks like we're getting close to the bottom of this.
And who's at the bottom? Diva Squeeze. Hey, Jackalpower. Gumshoe Ex Machina. October 20th, 10 o'clock a.m. on the dot. District Court, number 4. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Today will be the final day of this trial. I hope both the prosecution and the defense will be able to present decisive evidence. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement. In yesterday's session, the defense presented us with a new theory for this case. He claims that the scene of the crime was, in fact, Studio 2. Today, I will call on people present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. From their testimonies, the truth will become clear. Very well. Edgeworth seems a bit on edge today. You may call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls Miss Diva Squeeze to the stand. Miss Diva Squeeze is a producer who was present in the Studio 2 trailer that day. Will the witness state her name and occupation?
Diva Squeeze. I'm a producer for Global Studios.
On the day of the murder, you were in the trailer in Studio 2.
As everyone here knows, yes? I dislike needless banter. If you must pontificate, do it when I'm not here.
Very well, Miss Vasquez. Please give the court your testimony concerning the day of the murder.
Nick, I know she did it. Make her pay.
Right. If she's guilty, I'll catch her with her pants down, so to speak.
I entered the trailer, a little before noon. The meeting began at 12 o'clock sharp. It ended at 4 o'clock. There was to be a rehearsal afterwards, so we went to Studio 1. I was fatigued, so I had Sal take me. At 2:30, we took a 15-minute break in the meeting. Sal and I ate T-bone steaks on the table in front of the trailer. We found Hammer's body later when we all went to Studio 1. That is all.
I have a question about one part of your testimony. You were fatigued, so you had Sal take you?
The van.
Hmm.
There's a van at Studio 2. I had him take me in that. I thought it might be risky to walk, what with the monkey's head toppling over.
Toppling? Like, actively toppling? I see. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination.
This is the final battle, Nick. Let's do it.
What else do we got here? Does that fill over at 2:15? Good to remind myself of these things. Yeah, so Jack walks over there 2, head falls at 2:15, death is at 2:30. That's the timeline to keep in mind. I know, Ritzel. I don't know why I have 2 photographs. I feel like a filthy criminal holding on to 2 photos right now. That's how we're going with it, Grimes. Diva squeeze. It's hard to adjust to pronouncing Vasquez that way, but and that was that was picked up at 4. Yeah, okay. So they drove. Sal said the break was at 2:15, right? Or did he say it was at 2:30? I thought he said it was at 2:15, but we'll ask a little bit more about that. And what were you doing during that time?
Don't hit your desk. It irritates me.
Well, this game definitely can't be accused of taking itself too seriously. And it's not something this game can really be accused of at this juncture. Yeah, Mr. Wright. Oops.
It was a 15-minute break.
Oh, this is pretty amazing. That's it.
Well, Nick, find anything?
I kind of wish she'd said a little more.
It's hard. I think she's pretty used to being the boss. But I'm sure you'll find some kind of contradiction in what she said, somewhere.
By yourself?
Yes.
And you didn't stop in the inn at the employee area.
No.
Are you always this terse?
Yes.
Oh dear. Did no one leave during the meeting?
No one.
Come on. Let's talk a bit more about that. The witness did not come in here to engage in idle conversation. Stop interrupting the testimony.
The same could be said to you, Mr. Edgeworth. And please stop banging on your little desk. It hurts my ears.
And when exactly was that?
I've forgotten.
Maybe you could try remembering?
No.
The meeting ended at 4 o'clock, and the rehearsal was scheduled for 5 o'clock. I would think it was between those times.
You would think? Come on. All you did was state the obvious, Edgeworth. Even though that's mostly what we do here.
I mean, the judge already clarified that, but we could ask a little further. Hold on! You had Cell take you? What does that mean, even though that's already been explained? Damn it, Phoenix!
It means what I just said. I had Sal take me in the Studio 2 van.
Oh. Oh, right. Do you have someone who can verify this?
Sal.
No. I mean someone else?
One person is enough. If she committed murder during that break, she wouldn't have had time to eat a T-bone steak. If I had some evidence that proved she didn't eat that steak. Well, Nick? Find anything?
Edgeworth going into zombie mode. Edgeworth probably does like the taste of brains. Were there not bones on the plates at Studio 2? Should have probably re-examined stuff over there. Then again, I didn't think that the day was going to suddenly end. So, Ritzel. Yeah, I mean, if we had a photo of her stomach contents, that would be instant death for our client, because then we'd have not 2 but 3 photos on us. Is there anything better than presenting the bones on the plate to this statement? Entered the trailer alone before noon. Danger 4. Yeah, I'm not really seeing much else I'm supposed to be talking about here, but, sure. Ha! As I thought. You claim you ate a T-bone steak. But I say you did not. What's this now, Mr. Wright? Look at this. It's a plate. This plate was on the table in the employee room. As you can see, a large bone has been left behind. Mr. Wright, need I remind you it was a T-bone steak? Exactly my point. Remember, if you will, Miss Vasquez and Mr. Manella ate at a table outside the trailer. Yet there were no bones left on the plates. The plates were bare. I did remember correctly. Huzzah. Miss Vasquez, tell me, how can a person eat a T-bone steak and not leave the bone? I think I know how. You ate the bone, too! I kinda want to go with that option, to be honest. Calm down there, Jackalpie. I knew it, the plates were bears! You ate the bone, too!
Nick? Are you sure? I mean, I love steak, but even I don't eat the bone.
Hey, I don't eat it either. Mr. Wright, I too leave the bone. Can I try that again? I think I know how. Alright. You didn't eat any steak during that break. You took your steak and threw it somewhere, like that incinerator. Right, I see. Then what was Miss Vasquez doing during her break? And it's too bad that we only have 3 trial days. We can't go check the incinerator for evidence or anything. Hey, Spinexo. Soul90, welcome to the chat. Isn't it obvious, Your Honor? She was meeting with the Steel Samurai. Order! This is the first of multiple times during this day's trial I will call for order. Are you saying? Yes, Your Honor. as Miss Vasquez left the trailer to eat her steak. She ran into the Steel Samurai. And then you did it. You killed him with your own hands. How? That's what Edgeworth is about to say. Mr. Wright, isn't that a little presumptuous? I know that's kind of par for the course in these trials, but... What kind of stunt are you trying to pull, Wright?
Let him claim what he wants. You say I did it?
Yes. Even though that's clearly not going to be correct.
Fascinating. And here I was worrying that today would be as boring as all the rest. Very well. Let us have a battle of wits, you and I.
Any day, Vasquez.
Good luck, Nick. Let's see. What was that murder weapon again? Oh yes, the samurai spear.
Yes?
I am, as you can see, a woman of petite stature. How can I possibly use that heavy spear as a weapon?
Yeah, it's more than a little presumptuous. Exactly. That's the only way it's a pun, Gamma. How else? No one else has found a reasonable pun for her name. Therefore, I'm going with the one thing that seems like an obvious pun. Therefore, that's how her name should be pronounced. I stand by that. Given the nature of names in this game, it seems entirely correct. If we weren't hunting for puns and we didn't like pay attention to that factor, I would just be saying Vasquez. She could still use it. Hey there, Bloody Plays. I didn't even see that until you clarified, Bloody Plays. I'm feeling she pushed him onto the fence. Just Esque doesn't really quite work, Math Party. It works if you move the... like, add an extra E to her name. Vasquez? Like, there's just no, like, reasonable way to fit that into the pronunciation, so it seems like too much of a stretch to me. I'm just gonna say that she couldn't have used this guy. I think you would have to have a great... I think you would have great difficulty using that weapon. Pretty much anyone would.
Huh. You see?
Yes. However, that has no bearing on this case.
Meaning?
The samurai spear was not the murder weapon.
What?
What is the meaning of this? The spear was found lying next to the victim's body.
But we've established that the victim's body was moved. I have proof, Your Honor. I can prove that the samurai spear was not used as the murder weapon. So there's really no reason not to just use this, right? Technically the van could be involved too, I guess, but there's nothing pointing to that, so...
Wrong, Mr. Wright.
Apparently that's wrong. But I haven't said anything yet?
I know you well enough to know by now to know when you're going to present the wrong evidence.
I can sense it too, with my fey blood.
Oh, okay. So I picked the wrong evidence. Enough with all the sensing. Right. Okay. Here's the real evidence, Your Honor. Well, that was what I was going with. I'm not sure I have anything else. Apparently I do. Let's take a look. Pierce through the chest. Yeah, that's just... What? I mean, we could talk about how the samurai spear was broken. Is that what they're looking for? I guess that's really my next best bet, huh? Like, I thought about that earlier, like the broken spear, like only the top half or whatever would be a lot lighter, easier to handle. I present my proof, the so-called murder weapon. But that is the murder weapon. Not so fast. Remember that this spear broke during the morning action scene run-through. But someone fixed the spear. It was the security lady. She fixed it with duct tape. Now tell me, how is it possible for someone to stab a man who is wearing a thick costume with this through the chest? It is still a prop. Yeah, we established that.
Order! Order!
Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? Think about what you're...
Silence. I'm the one testifying here, and I will be heard.
Zombie face.
Are you quite sane? Are you even aware of what you are saying? If the samurai spear was not the murder weapon, then pray tell, what was? How was Hammer killed?
Well, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, can you tell us what weapon was used to kill Mr. Hammer?
Would I make a claim like that if I couldn't tell you what the weapon was?
I'm afraid your confidence can sometimes be unfounded, Mr. Wright.
Well, he's got you there.
Very well. Let's see this murder weapon, then.
Alright, now let's try this. Look at this photo.
What is this? Why, that's Jack Hammer standing at the top of the stairs. Order! Order! I told you I was going to call for order at least one more time. It'll probably happen again, in fact. If I cannot have order, this trial will be suspended.
That doesn't... just...
Mr. Wright, what is this all about?
This photograph is from 5 years ago. There was an unfortunate accident at Global Studios. This is a photo of that very accident. Not a word of this was leaked to the outside. It was a close-kept secret at the studios. What does this have to do with the current case? Mr. Edgeworth, you still can't see it? See the fallen man in this photo. See how the fence post pierced him through the chest? What? Are you saying... Yes. What happened 5 years ago has happened again. Greetings, Doom.
Mr. Wright, continue!
It's 2:30 p.m. on the day of the murder. Miss Diva Squeeze meets Jack Hammer outside the Studio 2 trailer. Then she did it. She pushed Mr. Hammer off the stairs onto the fence. No, that doesn't work. We already told... Oh well, we'll get there. Just like Mr. Hammer had himself done 5 years ago. Though whether she did it on purpose or by accident, I cannot say. In other words, the victim, Mr. Hammer, he died in the same way that he caused another man to die. 5 years ago! Precisely. Ironic, isn't it?
Very creative, Mr. Wright. I could use a man like you on my script writing staff.
You deny that what I say is true?
Mr. Wright, let's say, for the sake of argument, that Hammer died at the trailer, as you say. Yet the body was found at Studio 1, was it not? And in the evil magistrate's costume, no less. Are you then claiming that I carried the body to Studio 1 and returned to the trailer, all in the space of a 15-minute break? How could I have disposed of the body?
The break in the meeting at the trailer lasted 15 minutes, from 2:30 to 2:45. Could Jack Hammer have been pushed off the stairs to his death, then carried to Studio 1 and placed inside his costume? There simply wasn't enough time.
Indeed. Well, Mr. Wright, how could she have dealt with the body?
Xena, I think the boy actually did say that the bad guy looked... Well, actually I'm not sure if he said it looked like a man. Maybe he just said tall or something like that. It's unfortunate that evidence from the previous day's trial is mostly evaporates into the ether, so we can't check it anymore, but... I assume she had another way. There was the van. That's probably what we're going to present with. She does have goons. What if she had another way to carry the body, other than with her own hands?
For instance?
Actually, for that matter, there is no need for her to do the deed in 15 minutes. And there was a way for you to carry that body.
Interesting. Let's hear it then.
Mr. Wright, please show us how she carried the body.
I mean, goons is what I want to highlight, but I don't have goons in the list here, so I guess we're gonna have to go with van. There's There's nothing else, like, obviously missing now. Damn. Miss Vasquez, you carried the body to Studio 1, and you used the studio van to do it. That face, though. Recall your own testimony. You used the van to carry the body to Studio 1. Then, before everyone else got there, you put the body into the magistrate costume. Hold on, Wright. Don't forget, it was Salmonella that drove the van. Are you suggesting that Mr. Manella was a conspirator? I can honestly see either way, but I think no, I think it just looked like, you know, a costume in the back of the van. So there was nothing to worry about, right? Hey, JF Kraken. So let's go with that. Of course he wasn't. Ha! So, without Mr. Manella noticing anything, she put the body in the van, then managed to put the body into the costume. Are you seriously suggesting that is possible? Okay, apparently that is wrong. Of course I'm not serious. Huh? I was kidding. To, lighten up the proceedings. Lighten... You can't lighten up a murder.
Mr. Wright, the court requests you refrain from making claims in jest.
Yes, Your Honor. That's true, you can't trust salmon. You can't trust any fish that swims upstream. Can't trust upstream fish. What happens when you put your trust in fish that swim upstream is that you're using AOL Instant Messenger and you get some message from intriguing salmon and they ask you something weird like, "Say, old bean, have you seen my hat?" And you're like, "Who is this?" And they're like, "Who is this?" And they don't know who you are. And it's magical. True story. Of course, Salmonella has to have been a conspirator. The body had to be placed in the van and put into the costume. There's no way Miss Vasquez could have done that alone. He doesn't need his help, though. And he said he was eating a steak there, too, and there was no bone, so he was lying about it and stuff. But even... it makes sense, like, there's evidence saying that he is in on stuff and lying about stuff. But he doesn't need to be. She's got goons. She's got goons. Also, don't forget that they had to dispose of the Steel Samurai costume. They had to, because it was covered in Mr. Hammer's blood. They probably burned it in that small incinerator. Well, Miss Vasquez, shall I continue?
No need. You're smarter than you look, Mr. Wright. I lose. You win. It was fun.
I win? Love the courtroom too. So, what happens next? Don't question mark me. Don't you have anything to say?
What would you like me to say?
Uh-huh. I lost? Something like that? She said that already! What do you mean, Phoenix? She literally said, I lose. Is I lose that different from I... Hey there, Zelithar. Okay, thank you. But... I do appreciate that, like... probably more than half of the time that I'm like upset with the game. The game realizes what I'm going to be upset with. It's just the character being very stupid. That happens more than half of the time. So I at least appreciate that, despite the fact the game is not always treating me with respect, half of the time it's doing that to make the characters look stupid instead of the player. So that's good. Yeah, please use the past tense.
I just said that.
Wait, so you mean Diva Squeeze? So, it was you. You killed Jack Hammer.
Who can say?
Huh?
Are you sure I did? Mr. Wright, we just engaged in a battle of wits. And the result of that battle, you proved the possibility that I murdered Hammer.
Right.
But that is only a possibility. Proof is another thing altogether. You lack decisive proof, Mr. Wright.
What? What? What?
Order! Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts?
Of course. It's as the witness says. Certainly, it does seem very likely she did it. But, there's no proof.
Edgeworth isn't sure. Well, I came here as a witness today. If you have no more questions, I'll be leaving.
Well, in the last trial, what they did was start a trial for someone new, aka me, the next day, and that would be a new trial, so we could do another 3 days, right? So why don't we just do that? Hey there, Devin. What do I do now? Yeah. I'd like you to testify again.
Testify again?
No win to give up, Mr. Wright. Think about it. Even if I were to testify again, what's the point? I can only say what I said before. The truth, Mr. Wright. I've already said all there is to say. What would happen if I said it again? You'd ask the same questions, get the same answers. It's almost as if you're playing a game. A waste of time.
Damn. To come so far, only to fail.
As it seems there are no further questions, I would like to end the cross-examination of the witness, Miss Vasquez.
So what? I guess it takes Edgeworth losing one case to start caring about justice rather than just winning? Is that what's happening here?
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth.
I was hoping to come up with a question while I was objecting, Your Honor. I didn't. I'm glad we let his theme run so long there then. Just built that up. Edgeworth is a sham!
I see. Very well.
Your Honor!